Hi my loves, I hope you're all having a beautiful, gorgeous day. I'm Lilian Tahmasian for those of you that don't know me. Hello! Welcome to my house. Today I decided to do something that I've actually never done before. I actually wasn't even sure I was about to post this video on my channel, but I really wanted to because it may help one of you, it may help a group of you, and that is all that matters. I feel quite vulnerable saying this because it's just so personal, but I mean, I love you guys and this is my channel, so if I'm not honest, like, what's the point? I hope you beauties enjoy this video. If it helps you in any way, or if you even like the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Post below any thoughts that you have. I would love to read them. Enjoy this video. Bye! So if you have been following my channel for the past few years, especially when I first began, you would know that my uncle passed away in 2002 with a motorbike accident, and there is not a day that goes by that I don't think of that man. He was the world to me. He, was known as an uncle, but he was very young. He was not that much older than me. He was my mum's younger brother, and he lived with us for a whole chunk of his life when I was younger. Then when we moved into this house about 18 years ago now, he, would come by a few times a week, and I would always see him. We were very, very close. As you can tell, we're a very close, tiny family, and he definitely added his own thing to our family. I just quickly want to, trickle into the grieving process and how I dealt with, depression alongside my entire family. When he first passed away in 2002, I was 12 years old, and it was the most, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to get emotional, but it was the most it was the worst day of my life. We were very, very close, and you can imagine experiencing such trauma like that. No doubt changed our entire life. First impact he had, I think, on his loss, obviously besides his parents, was my mum. They were very close, out of the whole family they were the closest, and my mum went through severe depression. She lost her entire hair. Her hair literally fell out in chunks. She lost her nails on her hands and her nails on her toes. It was just, quite traumatic. He was only 32 when he passed away, so he was very extremely young. So fast forward to about 3 years ago, when I was finishing up my uni degree. I finished my bachelor's in media and I got my master's in media and journalism. While I was finishing up my media diploma, I had to have an internship at a business where, was relatable to my field and what I wanted to get into. At the time, I really wanted to get into PR. This was kind of before I did YouTube full time. Fast forward to that time, my uni teacher told me to, this all relates, I promise, my uni teacher told me to find an intern, and she gave us a certain time period. I looked over for an internship. I emailed numerous amount of companies in the fashion and beauty field, and they either weren't accepting internships at the time, or they were booked out for the time period, and they just didn't want internships, I guess. And I went to my teacher and I was so devastated. I was like, what can we do? Like, what am I going to do? And she said, Lilian, don't worry, I'm going to find an internship that's right for you. Give me a few days and I'll email you. I was like, great, perfect. I don't have that much work to do. I got an email from her saying, found an internship in the city in Sydney for a fashion brand. I'm not going to mention the brand because I feel like they would want their identities not known. I had to go in on a Friday just to introduce myself for like half an hour, and then the following Friday I would go in for about 4 hours a Friday, like on the day, I believe. So what happened was, the first Friday I went in and they were so lovely. There was a receptionist, we can call her Julia. There was a marketing manager, we will call her Samantha, and then there was the founder of the company. I walked in, they were all there, they were very nice, and we literally hadn't really known each other. I've never met them before, they had never met me. Literally like a 10-minute conversation, I met them, that's it. And the following Friday I walked in to start my shift. The owner wasn't there, so it was only Samantha and Jill, so the receptionist and the marketing manager. And they told me to, because Fashion Week was coming up that weekend, and they told me to unravel clothes from a box and just take the plastic off and fold the clothes and put them away. And I'm like, okay, great. They gave me a table and chair facing a wall. They were sitting behind me and I was facing a wall. Within the first 10 minutes, I could hear them whispering behind me, and I kid you not, the first thought that went in my head was, that is so rude. If you want to talk about about me behind my back, at least wait until I'm gone. I'm only here for a few hours. You don't have to do it in front of me. This obviously, it's so rude. And in my head I kept thinking, like, what are they saying? Are they gonna try and fire me? Like, that's good because I'm not even getting paid, like it's a free internship. Like, it was just a weird situation. And you know how when you make scenarios in your head, I was like, I'm telling my mom, like I'm not coming back with it being extremely rude. The marketing manager Samantha, she was like Jill, did you mention that you mentioned how you wanted to grab coffee with me, right? And she was like, no I didn't. And she was like, yeah you did, you mentioned it yesterday or something like that. And she was like, no I didn't. So it was obvious that, you know, Samantha was trying to get Jill out of the room. Eventually I guess they communicated behind my back, and then Samantha was like, Lilian, we're going to be back, so if anyone calls in the next like 20 minutes, answer the phone. And I was like, it's my first day, like what do you mean, what do I say? And she's like, oh you'll be fine, we'll be right back. And I was like, oh okay, okay, like that's just random, but sure. So they leave, and it took such a long time to come back, and the whole time I'm like, what on earth is going on? Like, are they discussing to fire me? Like, that's like what's happening? They come back, and then Jill says to Samantha, do you want to tell her? And I was like, tell me what? And she was like very hesitant, and I was like, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Like what's wrong? And then Samantha was like, sorry. Then Samantha goes to me, Lilian, listen, I don't want you to get scared in any way. I wasn't planning on telling you, but I really have to tell you something. And I was like, yeah, sure, what's wrong? And she goes, please don't think I'm crazy, but have you lost someone very close in your life with a motorbike accident about 10 years ago? And I kid you not, you guys, at that moment I started shivering, because how does she know? It wasn't something that I had ever openly spoken about besides my close friends. So coming from a stranger, that was weird. And I was like, yeah, how do you know that? And she goes, was he very tall? He would wear black all the time. He was very young when he passed away, and he passed away with a bike accident, but you still don't know the reason exactly why. I was like, yes, 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 like how do you know? And at that moment I just wanted to hear how she knew, like did she know him when he was here? And she said, please, please, please don't freak out, Lilian, but he's in the room with us. And you guys, I'm not even kidding, my heart, like just the way it's beating right now, my heart started beating so fast, and all I can remember was my eyeliner just falling down, and I'm getting goosebumps now. And I didn't even know what to say, like, what do you say? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, who are you? Like, she was a marketing manager. I'm like, what is going on? And she said, I have this gift that I can see people that have passed away, and sometimes I don't see them clearly, and sometimes it's not a pleasant experience, but when you walked into the office this morning, your uncle, walked right behind you, and, oh my God. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, yeah, he walked in right behind you, and he came here for me, like he wanted to pass on a message to you. And I was just so confused, you guys. There were like tears running down my face, and he obviously meant the world to me. So for me to hear that, and the most crazy thing was that it was coming from a random person. I had no idea who she was, like nothing. I had only met her one time before. It was so random, and I didn't even know the company. Like I was like, what is going on? And then we knew he passed away with a motorbike accident, but we didn't know exactly what happened. There weren't enough witnesses, and my mum thought there was like an animal on the road because he was like an animal lover. He didn't want to hit the animal, so he went flying with his bike, and he broke his limbs, and it was just really bad, and he had internal bleeding. She said, your uncle wants to say sorry to you and your family. And I was like, what do you mean, why? And she said, because he was being silly on the bike. And like that broke my heart. And she said, I will never forget this day or these words. And she said he didn't know his actions would kill him, and he's very sorry, and he wishes he was here. He also said to me that he wants for me to let you know, to say thank you to your mum, for all these years of cooking and taking care of him. And I kid you not, you guys, that broke my heart so much, because like to me, my mum and my brother were like the ultimate siblings. Like they were obsessed with each other. I didn't want to cry. Obsessed with each other. And when she said that, I didn't even know what to say. And she said to me, by the way, don't cry when you're in the car by yourself. She said, I know that you were crying yesterday listening to Mariah Carey in the car. Don't cry, he's with you. And when she said that, I was like, that is so crazy because the day before he was a big fan of Mariah Carey and I didn't know until I was older, and I obviously love Mariah Carey. I always have, and Mariah Carey came on the radio, this song called Open Arms, and I literally started, like, this was the day before, crying in my car, and I had to park the car, and I kind of had a moment, and then I started driving again, and she said, yeah, don't worry, he was in the car with you. Pretty much said that, you know, he's in a happy place now. And you guys, it was just the craziest day. I'm not even kidding when I tell you this. Like, I was so emotionally exhausted. I was like, I have to go home, I'm sorry. And I had just gotten there that day, obviously, and I walked in, she kind of told me. So I was like, I'm sorry, I have to leave like hours early, I can't do this, I have to go tell my mom. I like sped to my mom's job, and I'm like banging on the window, and I'm like, Mom, come out, I have to tell you something. And I was like in tears, I couldn't even speak properly. And then I called my grandma, she was in LA, and they put me on speaker, and everyone in my family was crying. Like, it was just like the weirdest thing. The best day of my life, but it was the most craziest day. Like, it was the best day because I got to communicate with my uncle, but it was the most craziest day because what on earth is happening, you know? Whoever I tell this story to, like, I haven't told many people, now the world's gonna know, but I haven't told many of my personal friends. Like, I've just told a few people, and I remember whoever I told, they were like in tears. I told Chloe and Lauren on YouTube as well, and they were like, Chloe's like, it's my favorite story. But like, it's just so crazy how something like this can touch someone so, like, I never knew a random person could see my uncle. That meant the entire world to me. Kind of gave me more confidence knowing that, you know, he's there, and whoever passes away, they don't really leave, they just become invisible, but they're still there. So if any of you have unfortunately lost someone, don't ever think that they're gone forever, they're not. And this, hopefully, this proved to you, and it can give you some encouragement and some confidence in that aspect. But yeah, that's my story. I really want to share it with you. And it's funny because after that internship finished, I never really heard from her again. I never heard from Samantha again. But for me to get that opportunity meant the entire world to me. And it's crazy how every single thing happens for a reason. Like, I didn't even find an internship to begin with. My teacher found it for me, and this is what happened. Like, who knew? But I'm so grateful for that. I hope it helps some of you. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to leave your comments below and thumbs up this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel, please. And oh, I feel very vulnerable, but I love you guys so much. Bye.